Good evening. Briefly, I want to speak about knowing when to stop, knowing when it's over, because at times not everyone knows when to stop, or knowing when a career you've had which isn't sustainable for a lifetime. Um, you have to stop it because you're not suited to that anymore. You've gone past the age for it, and you can't stop because you're so passionate about that career. And that's certainly the case with Anderson Silva, one of the best MMA fighters of all time, in his prime especially. Came into the UFC from Japan in 2006, and now in 2020, after 14 years, it looks like he may have had his last fight, because the president Dana White has said that he should not let him fight against Uriah Hall, and that he's not letting him fight again. On Sunday, I believe, or Saturday, Anderson Silva lost in the fourth round by TKO against Uriah Hall, and that does look like to be his last fight within the organisation. Anderson Silva still seems to be set on continuing his fighting career outside the UFC. But as a fan, as someone who respects him a lot for what he's done for the sport, hopefully he doesn't. And so you know I hate to be someone um who wants to be um certainly I'm in no ways trying to advise him on what to do, because obviously I'm not an athlete myself, but as a fan, as someone who appreciates his skills, I do hope he retires, because he's 40 years old now. He's got a growing family. Um, he's done a lot for the sport, a lot for Brazil, and so I just hope he retires. I mean, he was a great reigning champion. Um, had had a good unbeaten streak, and so the Spider, as he's known as, he's already left a blueprint of his legacy on the sport of mixed martial arts, and I hate to see him go out like Roy Jones Jr. in boxing, where he stayed in there for too long when he shouldn't have. And so yeah, um honestly, I just want the best of him. I want the best for him. And personally, I just hope he retires. Honestly, I really want him to retire. He's done a lot for the sport in Japan, in America, around the world, here in England. Um, if you just analyze his whole MMA career, there was a period during his fighting career where he fought in England. He fought for a promotional company called Cage Rage. Some of you may be familiar with that. We had fights with Lee Murray, and and of course, eventually I think his most known stint is when he went to America to fight in the UFC, where he had great fights with Chris Lieben. I think he knocked him out. With Rich Franklin, who he beat to claim the middleweight title. He beat Dan Henderson. Who else did he beat? Let me go through the list. Just go through the list of his opponents. Okay, so here it is. Beat Chris Lieben. Beat Franklin. Travis Luter beat Nate Marquardt. beat Rich Franklin again, beat Dada Henderson, beat James Irvin, beat Patrick Cote, beat Forrest Griffin. All these legendary fighters, by the way. Um, Damian Maya he beat, and obviously I think probably his most known victories were against Chael Sonnen, who at that time was seen as the best trash talker before Conor McGregor came along. And that the first fight where he was losing on all rounds until the last round where he got Chael Sonnen into a submission, a triangle armbar, and he won that fight. That's probably one of the best moments within MMA history, and certainly within the company's history, UFC. He beat Vitor Belfort by KO, which was a front kick, then TKO punches afterwards, landed punches afterwards to end that fight. The front kick was just straightforward to Belfort's chin and completely finished him. And then he beat Yushin Akami, great Japanese fighter, who defeated him before, but Silva lost to him by disqualification from an illegal ground strike kick that he landed on his face, which caused Silva to lose. And then he was Stephen Bona, another legend. But then of course Silva lost to Chris Weidman twice. One was by KO. And then the second loss was that infamous leg injury, that brutal leg injury that he suffered as he was trying to kick the legs of Chris Weidman, and his ankle split into two. Like, it was horrific. And then lost against Michael Bisping. His win against Nick Diaz was overturned because of a drug that he tested positive for, but then Diaz also tested positive for marijuana, which is suspended by the state commission. Yeah, so then, like I said before, lost to Michael Bisping. No shame in that. Bisping's a legend. Lost to Daniel Cormier. That was a last-minute replacement for John Jones, so not surprised there. Beat Derek Brunson, who was a great contender within the middleweight division. Lost to Israel Adesanya, who is currently the middleweight champion now. And then Jared Cornier, and then got beaten by Uriah Hall his last fight. So overall, he has a record of 34-11 with one draw, which was overturned result. And so yeah, he's had a great career, and honestly he should retire. I think he should retire. And I think in the last 2 days he announced his retirement. So yeah, that's pretty much yeah. So okay, I'm just reading the article here. Let's see. Tired. Okay, I'm reading an article from BBC. The former UFC middleweight champion says he will retire after his fight with Uriah Hall. Okay, so yeah, so officially he's retired. And so personally, I think a lot of people would agree with me. I think he should have been retired before the Uriah Hall fight. He's 45 years old. He's been fighting since 1997. That's the year I was born. So it's crazy. But he's a legend, and he deserves his respect. There was a period of time where he was being considered for the pound for pound greatest fighter of all time within MMA, and yeah, he's certainly one of the best fighters in history. And I just hope that he can be fulfilled with the career that he's had for years now, for over 20 years of fighting, and I hope he just relaxes well at home with his family. God bless him for what he's done for us, what he's done for the sport, and just all the great moments that he's given us as fans that we can look back on. Probably his greatest moment was the Forrest Griffin fight, where he pretty much just shadow boxed the guy and then landed a one punch knockout to finish the fight. And so yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say. God bless Anderson Silva, and take care.